Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Disabled Reality. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a great topic for today's show in which it is proper police reform and disciplining rioters, etc. And so let's get right into the topic of today's show. Proper police reform. We need it because for way too long, for many years, um, bad police officers were getting away with doing whatever they wanted to whomever they wanted just because they have a badge and a gun. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this very clearly. Not all police officers are bad. Not all cops are bad. There are many good police officers. There are many good cops out there. It's the bad ones that make the good ones look bad. Bottom line. Now, with that being said, it's about time that there needs to be what's called proper police reform. Should it be throughout all 50 states, meaning nationally? Yes. Will it go state by state individually? Maybe, we don't know. Who knows? But some states are taking action to this, and it's about time. And um, you know, there's been a lot of bad police officers out there, and nothing's been done to them ever. Just like the police officer that killed Mr. Floyd, right? This officer has a record. Oh, that's as big as the size of Texas. All right, that should definitely not be allowed. This officer needs to be placed in prison. Okay, and for too long, for way too many years, police departments have had a major control over courts and jurors, and that has to come to a screeching halt. Bad police officers have to be put in prisons. Police departments need to say to the bad police officers, listen, you do this sort of garbage, we're not going to tolerate it. Not only will you be fired from the police department, but we'll make sure your gets put in a prison cell. We will not help you in court. That's it. Done. Bottom line. And uh, just like um, the officers that pushed that elderly man, a 75-year-old man in Buffalo, New York, the man has got brain damage now. Seriously. And luckily, he's still alive. Luckily, that old man is still alive, but now he's got brain damage. So, those officers really need to be disciplined, seriously, and they need to be taken to court and um, and let the courts have their way with these police officers. Now, since we're on this topic, because I like to be fair all across the board, ladies and gentlemen. I like to call things as it is. And to be fair, to be fair, we have to also discipline, strictly discipline the rioters as well. Let's be fair here. Okay, let's call it like it is. And these rioters need to be disciplined. And by the way, these rioters are like teenagers, early 20s, and stuff like that. And they need to be properly disciplined in the matter of putting them in prison too with the real adult people. Get rid of juvie hall. Get rid of it. It doesn't do anything. Put these rioters who think that the garbage don't stink, and they too believe that they're untouchable because they're in their gangs and whatever and this. put their behinds in a real prison cell with the real murderers, the real rapists, the real drug addicts, and so on and so forth. And I mean, this is just my opinion, anyhow. And at the same time that we're on this topic, okay, um, like within New York City, the mayor has started to uh, take some of the funding, not all of it, but some of it, from the NYPD. The NYPD is still getting a good chunk of money in funding, but some of that funding that they were getting for a long time, some of that is being transferred to community services in which community leaders will help youth, uh, the younger generation, more youth programs, keeping them busy, and stuff like that in the proper way, and that's fine. That's a great thing. That's a step in the right direction. But but we have to raise that bar just a bit because let's just think about this for just a moment. Do you really think that these gangs, these street gangs, these street thugs are going to say, "Hey, let's go do volunteer work. Let's clean up our community"? Do you really think that they're going to do that after they already rioted and broke into banks and all this other stuff? You really think that they're going to do that? No. So let's be fair here. Get the FBI involved. Get these SOBs in a prison cell too. We have to cover all bases, all across the board. Okay. Uh, so we need the proper reforms with the police, the law, the court systems, the prison systems. Fine. Let's do that. But at the same time, we got to put these bad people in them, in these prisons. That's it. Both the bad police officers, these rioters as well. Okay, these street gang members and so on and so forth who think that the garbage don't stink. All right, so, and yes, can we have these community services as well? Yes, fine. These are all good things, but we got to do it properly. We got to be fair all across the board. And speaking about being fair, let's also do more for the good police officers. Let's do more for the good cops. Let's protect them more. Let's protect them more from the bad cops, taking retaliation against them. Let's protect the good cops from uh, police departments who say, listen, if you testify against officer so and so, even though that officer is a bad officer, if you uh, make a complaint or testify against them, we'll turn against you and we'll make your life miserable. Let's protect the good officers from that, from happening to them. Um, let's give the good police officers more benefits. Yeah, all right. Show them we're on their side. Let's give the good police officers more police protection in regards to like giving them body cameras, cameras towards to be on their vehicles, and so on and so forth. Let's do more to help them because this is being fair, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and so that's just my opinion. You could take it or leave it, whatever. And but we need to be fair here all across the board. And and there are states that are now, I believe it's the state of Kentucky, that has now banned the uh, no knocking when the police serve the warrants. Because for a while, police were not knocking on the door to serve the warrants. And so now Kentucky is saying, oh, we got to go back to knocking on the door again. Fine. Good. All right. Whatever. That's a good thing. Okay. It's a step in the right direction. Now, and also in the act of being fair, nobody, because I'm also against this too, Nobody has the right to just go up to a police officer the way that this older man did in Buffalo, New York. You don't do that either. Okay? You don't approach police officers like that and being in their face and stuff like that. Absolutely not. That is completely wrong, too. Let's be fair, right? But the way that these police officers handled themselves was completely illegal. You can't do that. You gotta come up with something much better on how to deal with people like that. And at the same time, you gotta make a law that stipulates you could no citizen is allowed to approach a police officer like that at all. It is illegal. You gotta be fair on both sides of the fence. All right. So um, now that's that. And as I said in yesterday's show, after I host each of my shows here on Spreaker.com, I will host my show, Advocate Information Highway, on YouTube. And so I will do that after I'm done hosting this show. And I want to remind everybody that this show, Disabled Reality, is scheduled for Fridays. My other show that I host here on Spreaker.com, called Equality and Rights for All, is scheduled for Thursdays. And I want to remind everybody about my business, my website, which is Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. The last page is the donations page. Your donations help us at Advocate Information Highway to reach our goal, in which our goal is to help multiple people from multiple different communities, locally, nationally, and worldwide. And your donations help us to meet that goal. So please donate whatever you can. It's greatly appreciated. Also, I wanted to remind everybody about the store page on my website, in which, if you click on that, you'll see three sections on there, in which the first section is where you'll see the link to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which I designed a lot of products and they're up for sale on there, and you guys can shop to your heart's content. The second section is where you will see the links to both books that I wrote, in which the first book that I wrote is called Let's Talk About It. The second book that I wrote is called Let's Talk About It More. You'll see the links to where you could take a sneak peek into each book. Okay, and also you'll see the link to where you can purchase both books as well. So again, you'll see the link to where you can take a sneak peek into each book that I wrote, and you'll see the link to where you can purchase both books as well. And now the third section on that page, on the store page of my website, is where you'll see the link to the website that my husband and I have together, called oddsandends.com. That's ODDZ like zebra, N like Nancy, ENDS.com. And you guys can shop to your heart's content. And so with that, I'll speak to everybody on YouTube in a few minutes, and I hope to speak to everybody again next week. Next Thursday for Equality and Rights for All, and next Friday for this show, Disabled Reality. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.